Hey guys, have you been wondering how to shoot a time-lapse? Well, time-lapses have been one of my favorite things to shoot, and I wanted to go over the way I capture and process them. First off, let's start with the gear you will need. You will want a good sturdy tripod, a camera with manual settings, an intervalometer to trigger your camera, and if you'd like to add some extra motion to your time-lapse, you can use a motorized slider. With this gear you can create all sorts of fun time-lapses. My favorite have been colorful sunrises and sunsets. Maybe you want to try a cityscape or even capture moving stars through the night sky. So let's go over camera settings. I shoot my time lapses in manual mode and in manual focus. This way my exposure and the focus stays the same while shooting the whole sequence. Now make sure you're also shooting in RAW. This is something you should always do because you have more control over the file when you edit it. Now with the intervalometer, you'll want to get familiar with using this device. We will be using the interval feature. What this does is let you set the amount of time in between each shot. I try to get at least 300 shots to make a 10-second time lapse rendered at 30 frames per second. If I fire a shot every 2 seconds for 10 minutes, I'll get 300 shots. If I adjust the time in between the shots, I do the math to see how long I need to shoot for. So pick a scene, make sure it's focused, make sure your framing's just right, and tell your intervalometer to start. Now if you'd like to add a little motion to your time lapse, this is where a motorized slider comes in handy. What this allows you to do is move your camera at a slow pace while you're capturing your photos so you can get a more dynamic shot and add some parallax motion to your time lapse. Once you've captured your desired frames, the next step is the organizing of your files and the editing. You will want to download your files and sort them out so they're easy to find through your programs. Make sure you back up your files too. It's always a great thing to do because you never know what will happen with a hard drive. So the first program I use is called LR Time-lapse, and with that you're going to need Adobe Lightroom. Check out their website. They have a lot of great tutorials to show you all the different things you can do. It'll help eliminate flickering, it'll help ramp your videos, it'll help you go from day to night transitions, and it's just a great tool overall. I recommend it to anybody. Now as you go through and do your edits with LR Time-lapse, you can preview what your file is going to look like before you render it out to make sure that it's going to look good, see if you have any movement, see if you got your lighting right, and the nice thing, if you've shot in RAW, you can adjust all this pretty easily. Once you've gone through and saved your files and it's created all your XMP files, then you're good to render. You can render with LR Time-lapse in Lightroom and get your files and you're good to go. Now I use Adobe After Effects to render out my time lapses, and the reason I do that is because I can do a few extra things with it, such as if I've got a little jiggle in my time lapse, well, it's got warp stabilized, so I can use that to help fix those problems. I can also add some keyframes, so do like a digital zoom or a digital pan, or there's a lot of other effects with After Effects that I can do that I can't do with LR Time-lapse. The other thing I can do is I can work on a handful of time lapses all at once. After I've processed them all through LR Time-lapse, I just open up each sequence into After Effects, and then I can put them all into my render queue all at once and just tell them all to process versus kind of doing one at a time with LR Time-lapse. And that's a quick overview of how I capture and process my time lapses. To see more detail on each of these topics, check out my videos here. Please subscribe, and thanks for watching.